and I'm really excited about this month. I know this doing business development and sales is a really tough thing for small business people because most of us are not trained in this particular topic. So CRM is customer relationship management, and Jeff Logan has taught these classes before, so we're really happy to have Jeff back. He's going to be demoing the HighriseHQ. Did I get it right?
Yep, that's it.
So anyway, Jeff, please go ahead and take a couple minutes to talk about your business, and then we'll jump into the demo and everything else that you've got planned.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
So I have a lot of information to share, and if you have questions, by all means, go ahead and ask them. Before I started to use the product Highrise, how I dealt with customers, my address book was to go to their website. There's their phone number, there's their email address. Or I would have a to-do list on my computer, and that was it. So finding Highrise and everything I'm going to show you here is fantastic. And so I have a couple slides, and then we're going to get going right into this. So I'm Jeff Logan. I live here on Bainbridge Island. There's a great view of Seattle. I've been working in basically the internet industry for the last 18 years. So a real long time. I'm 39 right now. So do the math for, I was just there at the very beginning. I go out and see a lot of customers every year. I go to about 10 trade shows. So I'm always picking up business cards, and I need to do something with that information rather than have the old-fashioned Rolodex. I've given 600 plus webinars, so I have all these other leads that I get with people, and then I maintain about 1,800 WordPress websites, and I work with 1,000 plus clients all over the place. So trying to remember who I talked to what about. Was it Jim from AAA Insurance in Boca Raton, or was it Julie up in Prince George, Canada? Who did I talk to, and who told me when their birthday was, or their dog, or anything? So being able to use Highrise is just an amazing piece of software. So Highrise was developed by a company called 37 Signals is their name. They actually have another product called Basecamp, which they're most famous for. And I know you're raising your hand because you want the code, correct? Yeah. Okay. So if you're following along on your own computer and you want to be able to see this even closer than looking up at the big screen, you can go to the website join.me. And when you get there, there's a place where you can join and enter in a code. And that code is just my name, Jeff Logan. And when you enter that in, it's going to bring it up right in your browser. And you'll actually be able to view my computer screen as it is right now. And actually, as I move my cursor around, there you go. I can see it. She's already got it on her screen. So let's make sure that, and if you have an iPhone, you can use it there too. You can download the app. So I used it this morning helping somebody tech support as I'm drinking my coffee sitting outside. Just looking at my phone, helping them out. So Highrise is developed by the company 37 Signals. They have another product called Backpack. That's what they became famous for, which is a project management piece of software that a lot of people use. Their other product, 37, that they make is Highrise, and they work together. So you can take information from one and move it on over to the other. So here's kind of the front page of Highrise. It's used by businesses of all sizes. The majority of people are quite small businesses, like myself and the company that I work for. My own one, which is kind of a demo that I'm showing, there's one person. For the company I work for, we have 16 people inside of there, and we can see all kinds of information about clients, notes that we've made, deals that we've won. So real quickly, the amount of people in here, how many people are dealing with sales? Just about everyone. Okay. So right now, how are we managing that kind of information? Like yourself, how are you managing all of your sales leads that you're doing and your customers?
It's pretty much the way you described it. It's like I'll make myself notes on my computer. I might have like a little spreadsheet or a little post-it virtual stickies to remind me, check in with these people.
I want to get you away from that. So when I show you inside of this, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. So they have a couple different plans for pricing. The first thing is they have a 30-day free trial. I use the plan that they have down here, the solo plan. That's the one that I use, and I'm one user. I can store 5 gigabytes of data there, which is more than enough. And I can import in 20,000 contacts, and I can have unlimited deals. Because that's what's important for me, that if I'm working with someone, I want to be able to see the amount of revenue that I might make from that person. Or as time goes by, I can go and see the amount of revenue that I can make from that person. The company that I work for, we're over here at the premium level at $99 a month, but still we can have unlimited deals, 30,000 contacts inside of there. We can do everything that we possibly want. And one of the things we can do is we can add everyone in there for our contacts. And then what we can do is as we put deals together, so deals where we're going to make money, we can say only these people in our company can see these kinds of things. We don't want the other people to actually see the potential of money that's associated with somebody. So you can hide those kind of aspects. And you can hide deals completely from other people in the company. Just, this is what I can see and no one else. Now, this is one thing that they're famous for when you go to their website, is they have a big thing that says yes on it, because it does so much. And I'm going to show you today, depending on the amount of time that we have, a lot of the yeses of what it will do. And if you have a question as you go along, answer. I'm probably going to answer yes with what happens inside of here. So let me show you how it works.
One quick question.
Go for it.
I noticed on the page before the yes page and talking about their plans, it said certain amount of storage. What is it you'd be storing?
An example would be is that you would store some file associated with that person. So a contract, exactly. An Excel spreadsheet that you're discussing the items that are inside of there. Maybe a couple photos that go along with it, such as you're working with someone, hey, I need to get these photos added into my email newsletter. Can you take care of this for me? And you would associate it there.
Okay, so it's not. So it's more than just kind of contact management.
Oh yeah, you can use it for so many more things. So I'm going to show you how I use it individually. So I'm logged into my account, and if everyone is to join me, software, you can see it looks really nice and crystal clear on your screen, right? Okay, so we're good to go. Right here, we can go ahead and add contacts to your account. When you do this, you can add it in a couple different ways. It imports from a lot of different systems. Now, in this case, I can add somebody in individual. And that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an example post of putting somebody in here and putting in their business and then actually associating everything with my deal. But you can see over here on the right-hand side that you can import people, or you can do a mass import. So if you have V cards, so if everyone uses on Mac, you have a V card there, and you can import those. If you're on Windows, obviously we have the Outlook format that you can import from as well. But if you have a big database, you have an Excel spreadsheet. And you can import that Excel spreadsheet of everything that's there, and it's going to ask you, is this field the business name? And you can say yes, and it'll import all those in. You can put IDs with people, such as, okay, all of these people are current clients, or all of these are prospective clients. So you can do a lot of tagging that's inside of here. If I want to find every single customer I have in Washington State, I can filter, show me Washington, and there's all my clients. So a lot of filtering can be done to deal with your current clients that you have. So in this case, I'm going to add a fictitious customer inside of here. So I'm going to go ahead and just add in their name, Jack, and I'm going to go ahead and give him my same last name. And I'm going to say that he's the owner of the company, and I'm going to go ahead and call his company Jack's Widgets. Now, as we're adding items inside of here, these are all fully editable at a later date, but one thing I want to emphasize is that when you have a person and you have a business, you definitely want to keep those separate. And if you have multiple people that are associated with that business, you want to make individual entries for all of those. So I'll work with a lot of companies which are husband and wife owned, where I make separate entries for both of them. Because I'll make a note on one person, difficult to deal with, and I'll make a note on the other person, that's who I want to talk to. So it makes it a little bit easier on this. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in just kind of a phone number real quick here. And I'm going to go ahead and enter in an email address just to work around with. And when I add in phones, I can go ahead and add in multiple phone numbers. I can associate them with different kinds of things, so all the way down to Skype or other. Email addresses, I can go ahead and add in multiple email addresses if I wanted to. And if the person has instant messaging, I can go ahead and add that on in here as well. I can do that. And then if they have a website, obviously, so it's all the normal contact information that you want to, you can go ahead and put inside of there. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in an address. So you can just go multiple websites, multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses.
If you're importing from like Outlook, will it just automatically fill all the blanks in for you, or you have to hand do it?
No, it'll automatically fill in all the blanks for you. So your spreadsheet that you obviously want to have everything column put together, state, zip, etc. So when you do that, it'll actually want to work with you. Is this what this field is? So I did a mass import of 150 people, pulled it all in seamlessly.
And it does it with ACT as well.
Does it with ACT as well. So to pull them all in.
If I have groups in, for instance, my address book on my Mac,
Mm-hmm.
and I have like painting clients, design clients, will it keep my groups separate?
It'll pull all that in too. You actually set these up. These are the tags that these people are going to be associated with.
You can have your own tags.
You can have your own tags. So then also here, if I wanted to put a customer ID with them, for some reason I already have given them another ID, or I can put referred by, or I can even start setting up custom fields if I wanted to. I can do that. And then if the person is on LinkedIn, I could actually click find it automatically and they would go find it. Most people it'll find them correctly. And then if they have a Twitter handle, I can put that in there. And then actually when I have this person done and in here, I could look and see their Twitter posts that they have actually done when I'm actually looking at their listing.
What's your Twitter handle?
I don't have one.
Okay.
Twitter's junk to me. I only read, that's it. And then if I want to put background info inside of here, so I'm actually going to do some background info. Longtime friend, now a client. And I'm going to go ahead and hit add this person. And this person's now there. They're added in. It pulled in all their information over here on the right-hand side. I can see exactly where they're located. I used to live in Squims. There's my old address. And if I wanted to start talking to them about the weather, hey, I see it's 49 there today. That's kind of crappy. I have that kind of gateway where I get everything kind of put together for our phone meeting or something. And then from right here, I can go ahead and hit zoom, and it's going to zoom in and show me all their contact information real quick and easy. I can click on the email. I can click on the web address, and it's going to take me to where it needs to go. And if I want to download this vCard, I can go ahead and download it right from there. vCards are kind of a universal storage method. Now, on my end, I'm really kind of, I want to make sure I have everything completed really well with mine. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this person, and I actually have a photo that I've already gone out and grabbed. So I'm going to go ahead and put my photo in here, and there is Jack. So now I got a photo associated with this person. So on my end, I'm going to take this vCard and I'm going to download it. I'm going to put it in my address book on my computer. All my stuff is in the cloud. That's going to sync. And next time I call him or he calls me, his picture is going to be on my phone. That works across the board if you have all of your contacts in the cloud. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So there I have Jack Logan. He's now added in here. And if I wanted to go add his business, we can see he's the owner at Jack's Widgets. So in this case, I could go ahead and start filling in the business information because it might be a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this company. And I'm going to go ahead and add in a photo that I have. Because if he ever calls me from the phone number that's associated here, I'm going to see the little widget icon. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in some information here for this one, kind of fill it out. And that's about as far as I'm going to go from right here. All right. So I now have Jack's Widgets in there, and I have Jack who works at Jack's Widgets. So this is great. Okay, he's in there. And from an address book standpoint, pretty much done at that point. That person's in there. Now let's say that Jack gives me a call on the phone, and he says, I need your help with understanding Google Analytics, because that's really what my specialty is. Everyone knows what Google Analytics is? Statistical software. So it's like, can I buy some of your time and get a consultation on how to use Google Analytics? Well, great. Hey, this is good. He wants me to help him. So in this case, I would write some of the notes about the meeting that I just had. So I'd be like, wants help with Google Analytics, get contract out to him as soon as possible. Okay. So in this case, I've gone and I've made the notes associated to Jack Logan because that's the person that I'm dealing with, but my actual business is associated with his company. So I'm going to go over to the Jack's Widget one, which is a company, And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and make a deal with this person. So I'm going to associate some money with this. So I'm going to go ahead and click on deals, and I'm going to go ahead and add my first deal here. Everybody follow along so far? Seems pretty easy. So in this case, I'm going to name the deal, and this deal is with Jack's Widgets. And there's a good reason why I'm actually typing the name of the business there. And Google Analytics support. So in my deal, I'm going to describe kind of what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and add some fake copy in there. And then I'm going to associate how much this is worth to me. Or I can say, okay, per hour, per month, per year, the amount of revenue that I'm going to get. So this is a fixed bid, and I'm going to charge him $500 for 5 hours of time. And if I wanted to associate it with one of these categories, I could do that too. And you could add all your categories that you wanted inside of here. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and choose the one SEM, which is search engine marketing, and hit add this deal. So there we are. Hey, my deal's in here. Great. The next thing I need to do is I need to get to Jack my contract. So I'm going to go on to the next level, and I'm going to show you where this cohesion all comes together. So I'm going to go into my deal, and I'm going to look, okay, great. I have this email address up here that we see, this forward. So if I send an email to Jack, and I add that email address in as a BCC, my conversation via email that I just sent to him is going to show up right here. So I don't have to go back and search through past emails, look at conversations, try and find that attachment. Holy crap. It's all going to be right here. It's all going to be right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the email address that I have right here. And that's going to go ahead and put it in my BCC line. So I'm using the Sparrow email client. And I'm going to go ahead and put Jack's email address up here, which I'm just using one of mine, and I'm going to be like Google Analytics contract. And I'm going to write some fake copy right here. And I'm going to go ahead and put my signature that I have at the very bottom. There we are. And I'm going to go ahead and attach my contract that I have. So there's my email. I got it all typed up. And I hit send, and my email's out. And it's now probably in his email box at that point. I did my BCC on this. If I hit refresh, there's my email. There's my contract. Instantly attached to it. So wow, great. Okay, it's there. Now, if I don't follow up with him, probably not going to get that contract back, because I know from working with him, he's not very good at responding to emails. So I need to set a reminder on what to do. This is where I know so many small businesses kind of fall down. Okay, I have all this work to do. I got to follow up with this person to make sure that I get my contract back. Well, this is where Highrise is awesome, because I can add a new task up here. And this is why I love this software. I can go add a new task, and I want to follow up with this person. So I'm going to add a new task in here. Ask about contract. And then I can say when I want to do this. So in this case, when is it due? And I'm going to say by Friday. And I'm just going to choose Friday. And if I want to choose a time, I want to get emailed at 7:15 a.m. Highrise is going to put an email in my inbox telling me who this deal is with and what I need to do. So this instant reminder is in my email box to go work with. Or I'll show you how you can get to the other portion of it. I can choose the category that I want this to be in. I'm going to call him. And I can let everyone in the company see this, or only I can see it. So I'm going to hit add this task. So then on Friday, 7:15 in the morning, in my email box will be this reminder. Yes?
In your regular email box?
In my regular email box.
You don't have to be in there.
You don't have to be in there. But it is in here. So let's say I've made this deal, and great, let me see the other things that I have here. So anything that I do, I add it as a follow-up task. So there's all the tasks that I have, all color-coded, so I know when things are going on. You can customize all the color codes. So we have tasks over here on the left, and I can see that I actually have 2 that are overdue. So if I wanted to say, oh, I don't want to follow up with these people today, I can hit change. I can go ahead and choose a different time. and just hit save this task, and then that one's no longer overdue. I can change another one.
Looks like you can delete it as well.
I can delete it as well, that task. So let's say that the person called me on the phone or sent me an email. Okay, I got that back, or that deal fell through, delete, that task is gone. And you can make these out for as long as you want, all of these different tasks. So you can see I have some that go all the way out to 2014, about renewal of a domain name for somebody. Now, I can also go show all upcoming or only show me in certain categories. So anyone that has to do with a proposal follow-up, just show me those people. These are my bigger dollar items that I want to be talking to. Now, we can also do something which is called cases. This is not something that has any dollar amount associated to it, but I need to make notes. I'm going to be sending emails to somebody about it. So for example, I'm heading to a conference coming up, and I've started to put all my information about that conference here rather than wade through all the past emails. So how much I'm going to get paid, where I'm heading, I can add it all in here. If I want to go ahead and attach my plane tickets, I can attach that PDF file of my plane tickets there, a map on where I'm going. It's all right here. Now, everyone has a smartphone, right? You can access this all on your iPhone, Google Android, all that stuff. It's all there.
Is this similar to being called like a project? I mean, would that be another way of looking at it?
You could look at it that way too. And with the email address attached to it, you can send an email to this case or this project, and other people can do it at the same time. Okay? But 37 Signal's other project, Basecamp, is much more geared towards development of a project. So if I was to win a deal for designing a site for somebody, I would do that over in Basecamp because I can attach way more files. I can build a list of check items I need to do over there.
And assign them to other people.
Yeah, assign them to other people. Hey, this is your job. Edit all this copy, collect all these photos from the client. We want to make sure we get this brochure done for them.
You also get all these views, you know, where you can track your project over time and that sort of stuff. You set milestones.
So here's the last item that I want to show, and then I want to go over a couple other questions that people have. And this is what I like best. So when I've added deals inside of here, you can actually see pending deals. You can see, you can't see the number here, but you can see it on your screen. This is what's coming in. This is in my pipeline of what I could potentially make. And if I scroll down here, I can see that's what I've already won in deals. And then if I go further down, that's what I've lost. They just didn't compute. They went someplace else. The deal stalled. The person went away. So this is really helpful to be able to see because I know exactly how much I am potentially going to be bringing in. If that deals number is way too low, well, I better get back to doing some more sales to get people in place. So I use this tool to see how much I'm going to be bringing in, taking care of the tasks that I know for follow-up with people, storage of all their information so I know exactly where they are at any given time, and just in general, this is how I schedule my life around this when it comes to work. I know exactly what I need to be doing. There's never a guess. I know the last time I communicated with this person, and I can say, March 13th is when I sent you that contract. If you want to go back and look at your past email, it's probably going to be attached to that one. Very helpful. OSHA shows very professionalism. I know exactly what's going on. Now, the other thing about Highrise, so that we have this great product here that does so many things, and at the very beginning I said yes about so much. So I'm going to bring up another window here, and I'm going to head on over to Highrise's website. And it's such a great product, so many people love it, that so many other vendors want to work with it. You can see their long list of yes items. Can I use Highrise on a Mac or a PC or iPad? Of course. Can I forward important emails directly to Highrise? Yes, you can. What they have is extras and add-ons. So there are other companies out there that will work with the API provided by Highrise. So they have their iPhone application, but it'll work on your iPad or iPhone if you even don't have it. If you do customer support, it'll pull in all the details back and forth. If you do live chatting, it'll pull everything inside of there. A lot of support options. So there's other developers that use and made an iPhone app. There's MailChimp, or if you use any of these other mail-based items, it'll work. So for example, MailChimp is really great for email newsletters. It also has constant contact in here. FreshBooks, you can import and export all your stuff. If you use Wufoo for online forms, gathering of information, it'll import it all in. I'm just kind of going over some of the more popular ones. Here's Constant Contact. Yeah, it's right there. So many of these. It does. Wait, let me look real quick. Yep, there's Harvest right there. So it'll work with Harvest.
Where's Harvest? It's what I'm using for the.
Let's see what
Red
else.
Mine. Red Mine. I was looking for Red Mine. It's not there. Issue tracker.
Let's see. Red. No Red Mine. But it works with all these other vendors for exchanging information back and forth or bringing information on in. Now, when I first started using the software, it was a little bit confusing on how things worked, but I made sure that I understood real quickly that a deal is with a company, a deal is not with a person. That made things a little bit easier. Making sure I understood how the reminders worked, and that I could get emailed about those, because that's not on by default. There's a couple settings that you'll want to adjust. And just importing everything in, I couldn't figure that one out. But hopefully showing this, the pitfalls that I had, you maybe get a better idea of what's there. And I do believe that there is a full tour that you can watch explaining kind of everything. And yeah, they actually do have an audio video tour that you can watch. All right. And their support is really awesome if you do have any issues or questions or how does this work.
Is it individualized? So if you send them an email, you'll get back an answer to your question?
Correct. They have a forum that you post it and then you'll work directly with that person. Because I found a bug and they're like, oh yeah, okay, no problem, we'll get that fixed. And they got it fixed pretty quickly. So you can see here's an example of somebody working with developing a logo for Stephanie Lake. There's all the logos that they kind of put together, I guess, as examples. Is this what you're kind of looking for? And they're all attached there. And we can set permissions. Okay, everyone can see this in our company, like much how you're talking with the ambassadors. Or, okay, only these people can see it. Only ones that have money associated with it. Only these people can see it. Just like that. Now, on my end, I work with people where I'm constantly having a conversation back and forth. In my address book, I have their normal email, but also their Highrise email. So any conversation I send with this person, it's inside of here. Or any email I get from them, I BCC it on here and it goes into the Highrise and it's associated. So I'm never without the important information.
So does each person have an email address on Highrise?
Yep, they all get their own individual Highrise email address.
And how do you connect those up?
So let me go show you real quick. And
do they know that they have?
no, they do not. they do not. So let me see.
So it's always a BCC.
Always a BCC, yes. So I'm bringing up Dorothy Reed here. And Dorothy's email, so if I go ahead and click on her email address, it brings up a window, and there it is, which is Dropbox and a very specific number, and my Highrise email address, my Highrise address.
So if you send the email through Highrise, it opens up in your email program like this?
Yep.
With the BCC?
Correct. So I try and send any email correspondence out to people through Highrise.
Now, what if I receive an email from the client, and in my reply, I want that conversation to now go into Highrise.
Mm-hmm. You would
So I would just BCC my reply.
Correct.
You go find that address, basically. It's a little bit clunky.
In that aspect, yes, because that's why working with a deal, the email address is very right there in your face. This is the email address that associates with this deal. So a normal correspondence back and forth with the person, you would want to try and get this email address, that BCC one.
But there is like a default address that you can just, I mean, what the little video that I watched, you know, like if I'm responding to someone who just emailed me and I'm still in my Outlook email and all that, I can just BCC a generic
Correct.
email address and then it'll automatically create a contact from that person.
Yes, it'll create a contact right from that person. It'll start pulling all that information in.
Wait, could you explain that again?
Sure.
You're saying we're
With a BCC to just a made-up address?
In this example, you'll see your personal email Dropbox. So let's say that I get an email from somebody here, and you're not in my address book. I'm going to go ahead and automatically create one for you in Highrise. I just go ahead and put in that email address as a BCC, and it will grab all your information out that is inside of your email. It'll auto-create this account for you.
And does this affect if you have Dropbox already? Does all this stuff...
Well, this is different than the Dropbox, the service. It's just the same name. That's all that it is.
It looks like is it just always the same BCC address for all contacts?
For creating new ones is what it is. So they can see, okay, this person, yeah, this person is not there.
I think that part is important though. Like there is this like, so if in my account, I have a corresponding email address like he has the jlogan.highrise.com. So I would have one similar to that, and that would be the one that I would use every time I want to create a new contact. If I'm going to respond to you, then that's what I would put in.
Yeah.
But again, and I don't want to get in the weeds either, but if I get an email from somebody who's already a contact in my Highrise, but they're just sending me an email to Alex at Art Creative, hey, I have an RFP for a project, do you want to put in a proposal? Okay, boom, I now want to start from the get-go. I want that conversation to go into my Highrise and go, yeah, great, I'd love to, tell me the details. So when I reply to him, then I'm copying.
Then you're going to go ahead and start put that BCC email address in that email, and your reply will be attached to this.
Okay, and if he's already in my contacts in Highrise, it'll know to go. You'll
need to get that BCC email address. That is truly the only thing that, as you mentioned, is kind of clunky to try and find that. Because normally you want to have email correspondence associated with a deal over anything else. So
it sounds like when we're generating the dialogue, when we're initiating the conversation, it's a lot less clunky because we can start from Highrise.
Exactly.
But when somebody else comes to us looking for a service, then we need to kind of
go another way. So let me just kind of go ahead and show it just a little bit more. So here is Jack Logan, and he's added inside of here, and you'll notice that there is no BCC email address anywhere associated inside of here. There is as soon as I start a conversation with them. It gets added.
It's the same BCC address as the other one.
As the previous one shown? Correct, and it's going to be able to find him and attach it. So, but if I go into the actual deal about this person, the Jack's Widgets, and I'm actually looking at the deal itself, oh, it's very visible what it is. Yeah, it's a different ID. So this is truly about tracking the money down that you're working with. Yes?
So let's say that, I've got Tobias in my system, and now he's sending me an email into my normal Outlook. And in my reply, I want it to go into Highrise. Can I just BCC my own Highrise and it'll get attached? Or
it should get attached to his account.
His account?
Yep.
If I want it to be attached to the deal, then I would have to go and find that special...
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what it would be.
But just to get it associated with the contact, just my own personal Highrise BCC will work.
And once it shows up that way, because you have your own personal one, can then you go into Highrise and put it where you want it or add the other?
It automatically is going to put it there.
Well, she means, I think, associating it now with the deal.
With the deal.
Once it's connected to, like...
To a deal, yeah, you'd still want to go and get this email address. I don't want to get too confusing on this subject.
I think what you're going to want to do is just start using it, and then in time you'll figure it out. And you may want to, just to make sure, just open up the deal and paste in whatever you got into that note. I mean, you don't need to worry about the whole email integration.
You can always just copy and paste what that person said in their email right there.
Whatever you need to know about that deal, you keep in there.
Right.
Well, it sounds like it's a relational database, essentially, rather than just a flat database.
Yes, it is that. That is true.
So I can say, call on the phone, no one there, left message, add this note, and it's just automatically put there.
I like to add a follow-up task.
You can about a very specific item.
Yeah, so like sent an, you received an email, you replied, and you want to make sure that you follow up, and you put that in there and you follow up. Or even if it comes through automatically by email, you want to come in here and add your follow-up task. So it looks like you just have these two windows open all the time, your email and
this one. Yeah, and I can add, because this is a deal with a company, I can add multiple people associated with it. So if I'm dealing with somebody that has multiple staff, all right, here's the person that's going to be cutting the check, but here's the person I'm really dealing with. So it's quite nice. Quite nice.
So you mentioned that you have the personal version of Highrise, but you're also working with a company. So so are those two integrated? They can see the same deals, or
they're completely separate. So the company that I work for, I mean, we have thousands of deals inside of there, and I mean, we can see exactly how much money we've made since the very beginning, how much each employee has brought in that's in the sales pipeline. We can go look at a customer that's been a customer for 3 years and how much money we've actually brought in specifically from that customer.
So if you're going to interact with that company, you just need to sign into their...
It's all inside. It's all inside. So I can't log into the company I work for and show you that stuff, though.
No, I'm not asking that. I'm just saying that so your own deals and your own CRM is completely separate from the company you work with.
Yes.
And if you need to work with them, then you go and sign into their...
Correct.
Highrise. Okay.
Yeah, I have to log out of one and
no back and forth.
No back and forth.
Okay.
So.
Does it record and keep track of when you've entered the thing for the first
date and time?
You could search everything for a particular date back in time.
Exactly. Good. So let me give you a perfect example of this. Somebody I've been working with for a long time. So a company called a B&B called Chlorine Mansion, and I can actually see here how much revenue I've generated from that person. I can see all the deals I've won. So I mean, what this person is worth to me. So from a dollar standpoint, this is a pretty important customer, dollar-wise. So and I can go see all the notes that I've made. I can see who the person is. There she is. If I wanted to post any notes, I could go ahead and do it right here. Is the person on LinkedIn? Yeah, there she is. She's on LinkedIn, pulls in that information. So I can see in this case, I made an error. I have associated these two deals with the person and not with the company. So I would actually want to go and fix that so I have much more correct numbers in that case. So actually, no, I take that back. It does show it is with the correct person. So a very great tool altogether, and I can see it's a cold 38 degrees there. So when I call her on the phone and razz her about the weather and how it's nicer out here, as I bring up the deal to start seeing what we're doing next for her, I can definitely do that. So there we are. There's Highrise. Highly recommend it. There's a lot of other CRMs that are out there. I've tried a good majority of them. Salesforce is what a lot of people have heard of. That's really big, but you want to be a big company to use Salesforce. This is simple, easy, away you go. Go ahead.
What kind of privacy
settings are there?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing is you can export all your stuff out whenever you want to. That's the first thing. So if you want to leave, you can. It's all SSL encrypted, so we're always browsing at HTTPS.
Is it HIPAA compliant?
No, it is not. So you really can't put credit card details, store them inside of there. Medical information, I don't believe you can put any of that inside of there as well either. So I'm not 100% sure of that though. You can definitely go and take a look. I know that what you mentioned, Dropbox is HIPAA compliant though. So you can definitely put information there. It's much more secure. So, any question? Yes?
Well, can you mentioned export it? Could you export it in the app?
Let's see. I know under contacts we have.
Whole information and put it into it.
So there is our exporting options. Export multiple persons V cards, so I can select a whole bunch of people. export individual, export to CSV, to Excel. Just give me a download of a zip file of all my stuff.
Okay, so you do it to Excel, which is
Yep.
essentially a file database.
There you go. So you do have that option.
So what does it look like when you download all your stuff?
I've never done it. So I never have done that. I would imagine, I know it takes a little bit of time because they have to gather it all together. I mean, it's not hamsters in a wheel doing anything or actual people. It just takes a while to get it.
I'm just wondering how usable it is outside a high-rise.
Well, I would imagine all your information, all your people are going to be in an Excel or CSV, and then all your deals are probably in like an XML document. So most other systems can import that in.
Nice.
So very user-friendly. Well, there we are. There's all my contacts inside of here. So I can go into these people and I can apply different things. Show me everyone that's from a certain state.
So you work with all like hotel, bed and breakfast, inns.
Yeah, that's
And doing what? So managing their
managing their
websites?
website, hosting, designing it, SEO. That's what I do on the side. My main thing is I deal with search engine optimization for insurance.
Okay. I'm just curious, how did you find this particular niche of this hospitality?
I used to live in Port Angeles, and at the time, back in 1994, there were like 20 plus B&Bs there, and I knew that it worked online for those kind of people compared to a plumber. Those people didn't need a website at that time. B&Bs did. So this natural progression got up to about 1,200 plus clients at one point. So
This is what you do on the side.
yeah,
Nice.
it's nice. So, but SEO for insurance is the main thing that I really do, which is interesting. So there you go. That's what I do. Or Google Analytics, let me tell you. That's what I love. I love Google Analytics. So, but there we are. No more questions? Are we good?
We've still got a few minutes if
Yeah.
there's.
Well,
This has been
go
an
for it.
incredible demo. I really appreciate it. I love the fact that you've also shown us join.me. I'm assuming this is
Yeah.
something
Oh,
that you
yeah.
use with your clients.
Oh, here I have Join Me. I was using it.
So yeah, that's a service you have to pay for, right?
Correct. It is.
Sure.
It is a service. I'll be on the phone with somebody, and I'll be showing my screen. This is how you do it right there. This is where our stats are. I can just go ahead and highlight anywhere on the screen. I gave you so I have the pay version. I just gave you my ID number, and voila, you can start viewing my computer screen. With the paid version, you can have up to about 200 people viewing it, and it gives you a conference call number at the same time.
So it's kind of similar to like go to
meeting, kind of. Cheaper, yeah.
There's only one way, right? They can't ever. Can they chat with you? Or
They can't chat with you, but I can turn the screen over to that person. So very much like GoToMeeting, but there's no sign-up process for like a webinar or anything like that. There's no sign-up process. And the people, if you were in a web browser, you go to join.me/my name, and you would instantly see my screen at that point if I turned it on for you to view. So it works with Flash right in the browser. It's literally no software to download.
Is there a similar service like that where you can have it almost like a cross between a FaceTime and this, where you could actually see there's a camera on you speaking to the people, but you're also showing them your screen?
Join Me is really the best. I mean, GoToMeeting is really the only system for that.
Oh, they do that?
They do that, yeah, with being able to see the person and everything.
But you could just put a little window of yourself.
That's what I was wondering, if there is something, like for example, I have a client in Bellevue that I meet with regularly, and if there was a way to just, like sometimes I just need to show them files, but we need to be seeing each other just because we're talking during the meeting and we want to be able to
Not interrupt the other person, in other words.
Yeah. So that's what I'm wondering, is there a way for me to show him, well, here's some designs that I'm working on, and then by the way, he can see me talking as well.
Does the other person work on a Mac?
Yes. Well, actually, we've been doing it via like their iPad, for example. Like we're FaceTiming on their iPad.
Okay, so if you do FaceTime, obviously you can see each other's screens, but with being on an iPad, you can't multitask.
I mean, I would be doing it from my desktop, my iMac.
Okay.
But then they would be over in Bellevue on their iPad.
Yeah, that's not
No,
going to
but
work.
you could just open the photo booth on your computer and just stick yourself in the corner.
Oh, yeah?
But they wouldn't be able to view
They can only view one app at a time.
one app at a time is the problem.
Oh, so Join Me is just one app.
No,
It's just your screen. So if you
you're right. You
so
can
just
bring
stick yourself in
in.
the corner.
Really? With this, with Join Me?
Open FaceTime and you'll be able to see yourself, and then they're seeing you.
Right, but you would not be seeing them.
Oh, I wouldn't? Okay. Yeah, I'd like us to see each other, ideally, but
You have to click this between the screens.
it's kind of like, I wish there was a way to just basically have a meeting just like we're having right now, except we're in 2 different cities.
Oh,
It's like we can be sharing our files, we can see each other talking.
Illuminate does that. I don't know if you've
Which one?
Illuminate.
Illuminate?
Spelled with an E at the
Oh.
front.
Illuminate?
Illuminate. It also has some like low bandwidth support as well.
And you can
So
do it on
you get like a
Google.
blackboard and screen sharing, and you can have a whiteboard and a place where you can upload pictures and show them to each other, and you can also put a little video up of yourself. So you can be like right next to each other.
So it's E-L-U?
E-L-L-U.
E-L-L-U.
Like illuminate
Okay.
with an E at the
I'll
front.
check that out. And then, Laura, you said,
On Google, you can do meetings where you can see.
Do you mean like,
you can share your screen?
the Google, like the Google
Hangout.
Hangout?
you can share screens and see multiple people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Because
never
I
been
knew
able to
that
get
you
it.
could
I've never
see
been able to
each
get it
other.
to work. So
Yeah, no, it's, I have a meeting every Friday morning that way.
yeah, so the Join Me software, it's free. You can get a pay account if you want to do the annotations, but use it all the time. I have a meeting at 1:15 and I'm going to be using it. So.
Are there any free ones now to do webinars? We used to go to a meeting. and
You can use this one for free and get 8 people to view there.
Not more than that.
Not more than that.
Okay.
No. So our company uses
How
Go
many
Webinar as well.
characteristics can you add when you're putting the person in for the first time? Are you free to add?
You're free to. I don't think that.
profile accounts, and I have different profiles even though they're in the same industry.
I don't think that there is a limit with how many you can do. So I mean, like
Search on that factor in it as well.
you can. So for example, I work with people in the B&B industry, so I could say, okay, they're in Washington, they're on the Olympic Peninsula, they're this member of this organization, they're a member of this organization, and I could put them all in there. So I could say, all right, show me everyone who is a member of this organization, and they're all there. So now I'll only filter to show me the people that are in Washington State that are this. So I can narrow it down. So
can you narrow it down to the city also?
yeah, you can narrow it right down to the city. Show me everyone that I have in Seattle. That is a client right there. So.
Do you know about sort of some of the detail about integration with, let's say, MailChimp or Constant Contact? So for instance, if I'm going to bring in my Constant Contact addresses, and I don't need you to be specific about Constant Contact, but in Constant Contact I have people assigned to different lists.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's kind of a general list, and then there's a members list, and then there's, lists about what people might be interested in. Is it always going to be a one-way path? Am I going to be taking my contacts?
It is going to.
Kind of wondering what the process.
It's only a one-way path. So for example, anyone that we add into Highrise, if I go over to MailChimp and say import, it's going to go and grab everyone, and everyone new. It's going to pull over. So I don't have to manually go and take the 9 people that I just added into Highrise and go add them in individually into MailChimp. They'll just grab them all. So.
Can I somehow mark them in Highrise so that they will or will not be dragged in? Like maybe I don't have permission to sign them up for my MailChimp.
Yeah, I don't know. So.
Because that's a really a big issue is where do the contacts start, and then how do they go out? And then there's also QuickBooks. Like member information's got to go into QuickBooks.
I do remember when I last did import into MailChimp. I could then see, okay, here's all of your people that you have. Who do you want to really bring in? Who do you want to add to different groups? So I did see that. But there's not an option for somebody who signs up for your email list to send them over here. It's not a two-way conversation, just one, with pulling data out.
Well, we could load up our Highrise account with contacts from our email program.
Yes. Yeah.
But we don't want to do that ongoingly. Is that what
No, you can import another database in again. If it sees the person, it won't duplicate them. It'll just simply tell you, all right, this person is a duplicate.
Okay.
So it'll do that. Like when I initially put this one together, it was multiple databases that I had, and it said, all right, these 9 people are already here. These people are brand new. I pulled my own. So she had a.
Can you double tag someone then so that they're on a couple lists?
Oh yeah, you can definitely do that. You had a question?
Yeah, on the website it says there's also a free plan.
There is.
But it says no files, so what does that mean? What
address
can't
book.
you use?
That would be it. You'd use it for an address
So you
book.
couldn't attach contracts, you couldn't.
Nothing. I don't know who would use that version. Maybe just as an address book, but I think it's capped.
It has 250 contacts is what it says.
There you go. So if
Yeah.
you only need it as an address book, a really robust one, there you go.
And then there's another plan where if it's just me using it,
Mhm.
but then the deals are unlimited. So would that be a better one, like to go for a less expensive?
That's the plan
alternative?
that I
That's you
use
do?
because
Okay.
I have a lot of deals.
Okay.
Their other plan that they have that they list out of the 4, that only allows for 10.
Right.
So I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have way more deals than that.
Okay.
So there we are.
Thank you.
How do we do today? Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jeff. This is really great. So next week, we're going to be moving forward with more direct how to contact your customers in a, what did she say, Zen, in a Zen way. You're going to find your own Zen sales mode. So pass the word, because I think this is an incredible one. And thank you all for coming. Thank you.